time. Shabbos. How art thou? Hanging in? Oh, we had that mess. Are we peaking too soon?
So, according to my mathematical skills, if they play 500 the rest of the way, they have 96 minutes.
Oh, they're in the playoffs. That's not bad. The problem is, are we going to beat them?
Never know.
There's a true Mets fan. It would take, I mean, there have been some classes over the years, but it would take a pretty freaking
Well, they had
awesome.
they were like, what, 6 games up with 13 to go? Last year, Shea.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Sure.
Page 14 or 46. Yedid nefesh avarachaman mishoch el ritzonach yaruz avdach emoyah yishtachaveh el mol hadarach yeram lo yedidutach minofetzuf vechol taham Adonai oziv haolam nafshi cholat ahavatach hanahel narefanala meharola noham zivach haztid chazeh v'tirapeh b'haitala shivchat olam vatikemu hayorachamecha v'chuzna hal ben ohavach ki zeh kama nichzav lirod b'tiferet uzach hanaheli machmad libi hayai v'chushana ve'alti galam higalena hoyai ufros chavim alai hetzukar shelomach tahir heret mikvodach nagila v'nismechamach maherahum kivamoel v'chahoneini gimei olam hadadai-dai-dai-dai hadadai-dai-dai-dai Page 16 or 49. Excuse me, page 15 or 48. Lechu Niran Adonai Nariyan Zoishenu Nekadem Afana Betoda Bismiro Narialo Arba'im Shana Akud Bedor Vahomar Antoyer Bahem Them Lo Yadu Derachai Hashem Nishbati Be'avi Im Yavon El Menuchati Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz Shiru Ladonai Baruchu Shemo Asru Meyom Leyom Yeshuato Sapru Vagoyim Kevodo Bechol Ha'amim Nifleotav Ki Gadol Adonai Homol Al Meor Norahu Hal Kol Elohim Ay Ki Kol Elohei Ha'amim Elilim Va'adonai Shamayim Asahon V'hada Lefanav Ozeh Tiferet B'mikdasho Havol Adonai Mishpechot Damim Havol Adonai Kavod B'hoz עכשיו איי השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש חילו מפניו כל הארץ אמרו בגויים אדוני מלך תיכון תבל בעל דמעות ידי עמים במישרים ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ ירם הים מלוא יעלו שדה וכל אשר בו אז ירננו כל עצי יער לפני אדוני כי בא לשפוט הארץ ישפוט תבל בצדק ועמים באמונתו Page 17 or 51 Adonai Malach Tagel Aretz Shabbat Or Zaru ala Tzadik Ol Israel Ev Simcha Simcha Tzadikim Adonai Ve'odu Lezecher Kodsho Mizmor Shiru L'Adonai Shir Chadash Let the sea roar and all its creatures, the world and its many inhabitants. Let the rivers applaud in exaltation. Lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel v'tzedek ve'amim b'meisharim Adonai malach yirgezu amim. Page 19 or 53. Yoshev kruvim tanud haaretz Adonai b'Tzion gadol v'ramahu al kol Elohim yador. Moshe ve'Aaron bekohanav u'Shmuel bekorei shemo korim el Adonai ve'u yanem be'amud anan Yedaber alehem Shameru eidotav V'chog natan lamo Adonai Eloheinu Hatanitam El nosei ayita lahem V'nokem halalilotam Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'ishtachavu lehar kodsho Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Please rise, 20 or 54. Mizmor leDavid Havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim Havu l'Adonai Kavod v'ahos Havu l'Adonai Gevod Shemo Yishachavu Adonai V'hadrat Kodesh Kol Adonai Al Hamayim El HaKavod Hirim Adonai Hal Maim Rabim Kol Adonai Bakoach ay, kol Adonai behadar, kol Adonai shover arazim, vayshaber Adonai et harzei halvanon, vayarkidehem gimo egel levanon vesirion kemo ven re'emim. Ay, kol Adonai, kotzev lavotesh, kol Adonai, yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, kol Adonai, yachol el ayalot, vayechesof, u'echarot, Halo, Gulo Omer Kavod. Ay, Adonai Lama Bul Yashava Yeshev Adonai Melech Leolam Adonai Oz Le'ahamo Yiten Adonai Yevarech Adamo Vashalom. Ay, oh, Anna bekoach gedulat yemincha tatir tzerura kaberinat amecha sagbeinu tareinu nora Anna bekoach gedulat yemincha tatir tzerura kaverina damecha sagbeinu dareinu norai Page 21 or 56. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmi'anu Elam yuchad Lecha Adoni Ligrat Gala Pnei Shabbat Kabbalat Adonai Echad U'Shemo Echad Adonai Echad U'Shemo Echad L'Shemul Tiferet V'Ledehila Lecha Adoni Ligras Gala Shabbat Kabbalat Lechadodi Ligrat Kala Bnei Shabbat Nekabela Ligrat Shabbat Lechuven El Chagi Mekor Haberacha Merosh Migedem Nesucha Sof Maaseh B'machshavat Chila Lechadodi Ligrat Gala Pnei Shabbat Nekabela Lechadodi Ligrat Gala Pnei Shabbat Nekabela Migdash Melech Ir Melucha Kumitzehi Mitoch HaHafecha Rav Lach Shevet B'Yemek Habacha Vehu Yachamol Alaychem La Lechadodi Ligrat Gala Pnei Shabbat Nekabela Oh hi 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 Hidnahari me'afar kumi lipshi bigdei divortechami haliyad ben ishai ben halachmi korva hel nafshingi Allah lechadodi ligrat gala pnei Shabbat Nekabela Ligrat Gala Bnei Shabbat Nekabela Hidoreri Ki Bahore Kumi Ori Shir Daberi Kivoda Donai Alayich Nigla Lechadori Ligrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Nekabela Ay Lo Devoshi Velo Digalmi Matish Tochachi Umatemi Bach Yechesu Anye Ahami V'nivne Tahir Tila Hay Lechadori Hay Yadadadali Ligrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Nekabela Ay Hayulim Shisa Shosayik V'rachaku Kol Me Volayich Yasis Alayich Elohayich Kimsos Katan Al Kala Hay Lechadodi Hay Yadadadali Ligrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Nekabela Aminu Smol Tivarosi V'yet Adonai Ta'aritzi Al Yarish Ben Parzi V'nis Mechabe Nagila Lechadodi Hay Ligrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Nekabela Shalom Teret Ba'ala Gam B'Simcha U'Tzola Tov Emunei Hamzegula Bo'wi Chala Lecha Dodi Hey Ya Ya Hey Likrat Kala B'nei Shamane Kabela Ay 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 Nay Nay Hey 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 Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Page 2359. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat. Magadlu Masechaya Mehoram Kumachshivotecha Magalu Masechaya Mehoram Kumachshivotecha Yishbar lo yochsi lo yavin et Tzadikat Amar Yivrach Keherez Balabanon Yizgeshetulim Beveit Adonai V'chatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Hod Yeduvon B'Seva Deshenim V'Rananim Yehiyu Lehagin Ki Ashar Adonai Suri Velo Avlatamo. The righteous shall flourish like a palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the house of Adonai. They will thrive in the courts of our God. They shall bear fruit even in old age. They shall be ever fresh and fragrant to proclaim Adonai is just, my rock, in whom there is no flaw. Adonai Malach, Geulah. Micholot Maim Rabim Hadirim Mishbereim Micholot Maim Rabim Hadirim Mishbereim Hadir Bamarom Hay ay ay Hadir Bamarom Hay ay ay Hadir Bamarom Adonai Hadir Bamarom Hay ay ay Tzaninu Meod. Leveitcha Nava Kodesh Adonai Leorech Yamim. This week we observe the Yartzeiten of Phyllis B. Erner, mother of Barry Erner, Stephen Cumble, brother of Susan Parati, Seymour Levander, a founding member of the PJC, Hy Cohen, father of Jason Cohen, Charles Glicker, a founding member of the PJC, Lenore Peck, mother of Joel Peck, Israel Turkenich, father of Neko Turkenich, and also Julius Dykman, Sarah Helen Lewis, and Eleanor Fink, who are memorialized on our board. May their memories and the memories of all those whom we recall be blessings. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 62 or 24. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'gala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal shmeid kudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. O say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Before I share just a quick drasha, I want to share about Eleanor Fink. For those of you who don't know, she is the mother of a gentleman named Dr. Max Fink, who is 99 years old. And he grew up in this shul. I guess he's lived his whole life pretty much in Massachusetts. He's a pretty well-known psychiatrist, and he's been donating to the PHAC in his parents' honor for like many, many, many years, and made a very large donation this year for which we thank him. And this place was very special to his parents. And I'm sorry. Eleanor, I believe Eleanor is not his. Eleanor is his sister. Not his mother, not his father. And this place has been very important to their family for many years, even though they haven't been here. So I just want to share that about him. And I spoke to Dr. Fink a few weeks ago. He's 99 and a real true gentleman and a lovely man. And yes, he should be making that donation until for 21 more years at least. The Fink, yes, that's that. So, just that's who Element. So a little bit. Say that again. Did anyone know that? Did anyone here know that?
For him, Sandra's mother is going to be 99, so we can grow for him.
I think Sandra's mother is going to be. I think she's turning 100. Isn't she turning 100?
Who?
Sandra's mom. I think she's turning 100. God willing.
Saying an older woman would be appropriate.
An old. All right. So it is Tu B'Av, which is a Jewish matchmaking day. So okay. So yeah, but it is. I would just have to say it is extraordinary to me that this place, of course, means so much to people who are here, but means so much to people who are not here, and it is really truly a testament to the power of synagogues, but not just the power of synagogues, the power of this synagogue. And it's really inspiring to me that every year for like 30 years this guy's been, it's amazing. So thank you, Dr. Fink, if you happen to be watching, and thanks to everyone who makes this community possible. So I want to share just a quick Torah thought. It's really about the Shema, which appears in this week's Parsha, V'etchanan. We read the Shema. And so it's as good a time as any to talk about the Shema. And I want to share two things about the Shema which are sort of related in my mind. The first is a little Devar Halacha. So there's, in the Shulchan Aruch, the most important tome of code of Jewish law, they talk about whether or not you need to have kavanah, intentionality, in order to get credit for your tefillah. Right? So you're supposed to pray 3 times a day, but what if you're distracted or not really thinking about it? Do you get a check in your mitzvah box or not? Does anyone know the answer to the question?
Depends who you ask. I'm sure it's Judaism, but yes, I think you do.
You do, and it doesn't really depend on who you ask. Pretty much everyone agrees that you're supposed to, of course, have intentionality when you pray, but if you don't, you still get a check in your mitzvah box for that day. Right? So if you were said mincha, the afternoon service, and you were sort of distracted, but you limped your way through it, so you still get a check in your mitzvah box. Except, rules the Shulchan Aruch, for the one line of the Shema, not the V'ahavta, which they think is too, you can't have kavanah necessarily for like 5 sentences, but for one sentence, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, the Shulchan Aruch, the most important code of Jewish law, says you have to have kavanah, a real intentionality and focus when you say that, or you don't get credit for saying the Shema that day or that time, and you actually have to, in theory, go back and say it. So, in a very radical moment, and sometimes there's this idea about the classical Hasidic masters that they were iconoclasts and they were breaking all these rules, and they really weren't. Okay, they were very, very firm. Okay, very, very firm. But in a very, very radical moment, the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of Hasidic Judaism, rules against the Shulchan Aruch, and he says that you should never, ever go back and repeat the Shema, because even if you were distracted during the Shema, by going back and repeat it, you would thereby give the impression that you thought that there was no divine reality in that first moment, and therefore you would be what he says, Mekatzer Mitziut Hashem. You would be diminishing God's reality by implying that even in that moment when you were distracted, there was no divinity there. So he says, don't ever go back and repeat the Shema. That's the first thing I want to share about the Shema. And the second thing I want to share about the Shema is about the V'ahavta, which comes right afterwards. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha b'chol nafshecha b'chol me'odecha. You should love God with all your heart and all your being and all that you are. And commentators have asked for millennia, well, how can you command love? Love is an emotion, as we know on Tu B'Av. And for those few who came to watch here at Herimet Saturday night, right? Love's an emotion, and it can't be easily commanded. And so what gives? Because that seems to be a mitzvah. And there are many answers to this question. One of them is that I like is given by the Sfas Emes, who's a 19th century Hasidic teacher. And what he says is this. He says that, yes, it's true that you can't really command feeling, but he says, Nireh mizeh, it seems, shebepinimiyuto shel ha'adam mushrash haregesh shel ahavat Hashem. In the pinimiyuto, the inner spark, the inner life of the human being, there is always, by definition, this feeling of love for God. And the commandment then is not to love God, but to sort of excavate it and to go deep and to uncover it. And this is an interesting and maybe profound teaching on its face, but I think to understand really the depths of what it's about, you need to know a little bit about the concept of the pinimut and the inner life in Hasidic thought. And basically, the Hasidic rabbis think that inside all of us, the reason why we're alive, is we have a little piece of broken divine reality that got lost, and that it's inside of us. That's in fact what we are all, sort of incarnate divine beings. And therefore, and I don't think this is far at all from what Sfas Emes really means, to do that deep dive to uncover love of God is also to do a deep dive and uncover love of ourselves and love of the thing that we really are, the thing that really makes us truly alive, and the thing that animates us, and the thing that gives our lives meaning, and the thing that fills our lives with purpose. That thing, which is unique for all of us, is the thing that we are commanded to excavate and uncover and, fan the flames of, blow those inner bellows so that it becomes this flaming fire that we share with the world. And I think this is what the Sfas Emes means, that the Shema, that the V'ahavta means. And it's related to this idea that there's divinity in every moment and in every place. And as we start thinking about tshuva, so much of thinking about tshuva is thinking about what we did wrong and feeling bad about ourselves, and to some extent that can be appropriate, right? A certain healthy amount of shame can be appropriate and productive. But at the same time, I think one thing this teaching reminds us and reminds me as I start to do the hard and sometimes unpleasant work of tshuva is that the movement of tshuva is a movement both of self-love and of love of other people. Right? I want to uncover my deepest self, and I want to be better, and I want to be kinder, and I want to be more connected, and I want to be a better rabbi and father and husband and friend, not because I hate myself, but because I care about myself, and because I care about the people around me, and I want to try to be who I really am, which is something that's more loving, v'ahavta, which is something that can fulfill that mitzvah in a really deep way, which involves a sort of a deep inward gaze, and then a kind and reflective outward gaze. And that's really the task of tshuva, and that's what the season is about. And this week is Shabbat Nachamu, the first of 7 Shabbatot leading right up to Rosh Hashanah. And we're going to get there, and it's going to be great. We will continue on page 64 or 28 with Aravit. Steve, you want to Please rise.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Mevorach leolam vaed.
Adonai HaMevorach leolam vaed. Ma'avir yom u'levi layla, ma'avir ben yom u'lelayla. Adonai Tzebaot Shemo Chai v'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'ma'ariv Aravi. Yevakal tasim mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai Ohel Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael. Reading on them. Adonai Elohim Hem Vanach Yisrael. Malchuto v'ratzon kivu alehem Moshe uvnei Yisrael cha'anu shira l'simcha rabba v'yamru kulam mi chamocha ve'lim Adonai mi chamocha edav hakodesh norati lo sefer u'tgaru v'anechev okeyam lifnei Moshe ze'eli anu v'yamru Adonai lo ve'ram נאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב ולא מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל אשרינו.
Page 33 or 73.
רק נראה את השניהם סרטן ולפנינו ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום יתה ביד העולם ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורץ סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל הותיר לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש יתקדש שמי רבה ועלמא דיברה קראתי וימליך מלכותי בחיי יכולו יומך וחיי כל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך ויעלה מימיה יתברך ישתבח יפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירת קדוש וחסד וחמאצה דמירם ביעמם ויאמרו אמן.
76 or 35.
Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen.
Page 47.
ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל סבם ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק אלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל אלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והרע אל עליון קונה שמיים וארץ מלא עבוד יברו מחלל מתים במאמרו האל הקדוש שאין כמוהו ביום שבת ראשו כיוון רצה להניח להם כיוון רצה להניח להם לפניו נעבוד ביראת ופחד ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד מאוד הברכות אל ההודעות אדון השלום מקדש השבת ומפרש שלי ומניח בקדושה והקדוש נעונג זכר למעשה ריש מקדש שמך ברוך אתה מקדש השבת יראה לגבש שמי רבה יברח ירדי להם לכבודי בחיים חומר ונקום וחיי לכל בית ישראל וגלה בזמן קריב יאמרו אמן שמי רבה מבורך לעולם לעולם בעלמיה יברח וישלח וידבר וילמם וינשא וידע וידע שמי לקודשה לילה בין כל אחד אשר תתוש בחת ונחמת אדם ירם בימה ויאמרו אמן כל ישראל קודם ובעוני וישמעי ויאמרו ישמרו משמיים וחיים עליהם ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו יעשה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עליהם ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן.
Kiddush is page 49.
ברוך אתה מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן ותקנון עולם השקט ישמור מצוותיו ורצה ושבת קודשו ויבוא ורצון אילן זיכרון למעשה וראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי באנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך ויבואו רצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל גדולה ליוצר ראשית שלא עשנו פרי הרצון ולא שמענו את משלחות האדמה שלא שמענו כהם וגורם עלינו ככל העולם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שמיים ויוצר הארץ ומשה וגרם ain't no rock tu v'lerotecha Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz v'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo Warner's Kaddish can be found on 52 or 101. Yit Kadal, Yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah. Be'amad, Divrach, Yerutei, Ve'amlich, Malchutei. B'chayechon, Uvyomechon, Uvchayei, Dokol, Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, Uvizman Kariv, V'yimru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach, Le'olam, Le'omei Omai. Yit Barach, V'yit Shtabach, V'yit Ba'ar, V'yit Romam, V'yit Naseh. V'yit Hadar, V'yit Aleh, V'yit Halal, Shmei Dekudesha. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata ta'amiran b'yamav v'yamaru. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamaru. Oseh shalom b'mamav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamaru. Amen. Not yet. Announcements. Very brief. Kiddush is being sponsored by Andrea Rothberg in honor of Peter's birthday. How lovely. More volunteers if people are so inclined to work with Hearts and Homes for Refugees. Mike Forkin's in charge of that. Ongoing PJC Adult Ed details in the announcements. Book group on Wednesday, September 14th, and would love to get more people interested in going on the Israel trip.
Blood drive.
Oh, blood drive is Sunday. Yes, I wasn't listening to that. That's a very good point. I think it's from 9 to 1. There you go. Okay. First they tell me they don't want to make too many announcements.
Hino Adon Olam Bechol Notzar Yorei Gdulato Malchuto Shefa Nevuato Netano El Anshe Srulato B'Nifarto Lo Kam Yisrael B'Moshe Ho Navi Mavi Et Emunato Torah Natan Le'amo Eleanor must be his mother, it can't be his sister. I'm confused. I'm confused. I'm confused because the note he gave us this time said his mom's name was Ronnie Slavic.
Yeah.
But I assume that Eleanor can't be his sister. It must be that. My guess is she must have gone by Eleanor.
Ronnie Slavic.
The name was Mikhail.